All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for more One Piece. So let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Yo, peoples, Qushu 92 here. Welcome back to more One Piece. Good to see you, Ravi. Good to see you, Kohagen. And for Ravi, I have to say thank you. Thank you for 29 months of being a member. Let's go ahead and give it up for Ravi, shall we? Give it up. Give it up. Give it up for Ravi. 29 months. And I also checked. We don't have a break. We don't have a break. We're going straight in from January directly into... Hold on, let me change my light here because I need it. I need you guys to see me correctly because I want it. It's bright. Hold on. I gotta fix this. I gotta fix it. I don't know why it's so high. There we go. And now all I have to do is tone it down to about right there. Perfect! Ladies and gentlemen, we are not going on break after this chapter. Let me just read out what Ravi said. Let me go ahead and say thank you for that. Get ready for a 10 out of 10 chapter. Take your time because it'll be a long reaction. Okay. Let's find out, because in the last chapter, we finally got revealed who was this hooded figure that was with Holy Knight Gunko, and we find out it's Figureland Shamrock, an individual that looks extremely similar to Shanks, and is also a commander of the Holy Knights, and also the son of Saint Figureland Garling. So let's see what happens in chapter 1138. The Harley! And... ooh, so this is where he's been. Okay, before we start with this chapter, we got a cover story. Because remember, Yamato and Tama are trying to find out what's going on deep in Udon. And we come across this big old place that has a motif similar to Who's Who. So, with Ogre Child Yamato's Golden Harvest Surrogate Pilgrimage, Volume 24... it was Who's Who all along. And it shows that Who's Who has, recovered from his beatdown from Jinbei, his deserved beatdown from Jinbei, and has now made his own little homestead deep within Udon, where he has a whole bunch of women serving him. Mind you, the women that were already on his side in Onigashima, the ones with the cat masks, they are happy to be there. Where it also appears that there are some geishas who are there serving him that don't exactly look too happy to be here. So at least we know where the women went, where they were kidnapped. And given the fact that this is an incredibly detailed place for Who's Who to be living in, it stands to reason that Who's Who is behind all the kidnappings, including from the foreman. I forget his name, not Minamoto. The dude that Frankie was working with. Back, the one that dangerously has that has nails just sticking in his nose. It stands to reason that Who's Who took him along with kidnapping a whole bunch of women so he could have his own little hovel to himself. Pretty sure this isn't going to last with Yamato around, especially with Yamato saying like the Beast Pirates are now over and Who's Who still trying to flex in Udon while Momonosuke and the Akazaya 9 are around. Nah, he crazy. He living dangerously. How you going? Okay. We'll see what the next chapter holds because we're getting one next week. Let's get started. Chapter 1138, The Harley. And it cuts to Loki after he was constantly getting beaten down by Gunko, and he's huffing and puffing. And while Gunko and Shamrock are walking away, Loki manages to say, "For as much as you look like him, you gotta be related to that red-haired pirate." And then Shamrock doesn't say anything, but Gunko chimes in going, "Hold your tongue. That's nothing you need to know." "True, it ain't my business, but a great pirate and a celestial dragon standing on opposing sides of world power. The fact that you have the same face
is bound to draw curiosity.
I need water. I need water. What he says next.
The fact that you'll have that same face is bound to draw curiosity. That pirate is my estranged younger twin brother.
Ha, 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 ha. It's confirmed. It's confirmed. It's confirmed. It's confirmed. It's confirmed. It's confirmed. Everyone, now I need to say this to everyone who brought up Shanks' lineage all the way when film Red came out. And I said, you know, it sounds nice, but it's considered non-canon until Oda says otherwise. And I waited! I waited patiently to see if anything was gonna come from this. And now we get the confirmation. Shanks is the younger twin brother of Shamrock. Now, for many of you, you may not be surprised. Many of you have already come to that conclusion of them being related just by his mere appearance. And I commend you for your confidence in your assumption. I commend you for that. But for me, I like for them to tell me so I can put any sort of rest in my mind. But now it's confirmed. Shanks, one of the strongest pirates in the entire world, is the son of one of the Gorosei. Ah! Figureland Shanks! Figureland Shamrock! Figureland Darling! Ah! Ah! Okay, let's continue.
That pirate is my estranged younger twin brother. He returned to the Holy Land once, but he seems to prefer the filth of the lower world. Returned? I see. Then your bloodline has earned my ire twice over. How fascinating that two separated brothers should each be targets of my wrath. You'll rue this day once I get these chains off.
And this is Loki, still beaten up by Gunko.
You know what'll happen, don't you? I watched my friend's fate decided before my eyes, and now I bear the cost of it. You dream of threatening me? Commander, don't let him. Indeed. It's not worth dirtying my own hands.
And he takes out his sword. He takes out his sword, and it starts turning into something.
Indeed. It's not worth dirtying my own hands. You do it, Cerberus.
The watchdog of the underworld? The watchdog of the underworld is Shamrock's sword! And it shocks Loki, and it comes out of his sword. Oh my goodness, Shamrock has an awakened Zoan in his sword, because Cerberus, the watchdog of the underworld, it comes out of his sword. And it has that same black smoky mane that you see from awakened Zoans. Shamrock has an awakened Zoan in devil fruit in his sword. And it's a three-headed dog. It's got like a spike collars, and it's massive. And they're all, barking. And Loki, surprised, goes, "Huh? What is that?" and it shows one of the heads of Cerberus opening up, and Shamrock's sword comes out of its mouth.
It's my sword.
And all of the dog heads, they open up their mouth. And and the sword, all the rest of them open up their mouths, and all the swords just come out of it. Whoa, that's creepy. What's wrong with them? And then the spike collars on Cerberus, they start spinning around. And they start glaring at Loki.
Huh?
And then Gunko chimes in.
Extinguish your presence, Commander. We need to move.
And Gunko starts creating this oh my goodness. She starts creating this structure out of her, arrow fruit. And then Shamrock goes, scramble. And the heads of Cerberus just go flying off. Huh? The collars are working as propellers, propelling the heads of Cerberus right off of its own shoulders. They just go flying off. And Shamrock and Shamrock starts reabsorbing Cerberus back into a sword. The heads are still flying off, but he absorbs the rest of the body back into a sword. Huh? And Shamrock hops on top of this structure, and it turns into this arrow bird that Gunko has created. And he just simply goes, return. He says return to the main body, and it goes back into a sword, and he hops up on top of this flying bird creature, this arrow creature that Gunko's created.
If you should survive, come and kill me. I'll be ready for you.
Wait a darn second. You have to be joking! Because though Shamrock called the body back into the sword, the heads are still flying. You have to be joking! And the heads start flying in the air, and they start to circle around, and they start aiming towards Loki. The sword still sticking out of their mouths. You don't mean it! Even I can't handle getting run through by those! Curse you, celestial dragon! And as the heads get closer and closer, all you can hear is just Loki going, "Darn you to hell!" And he says this as the heads just embed into his body. All of the heads, they just skewer Loki. And all we get is just Loki screaming out, but then it kind of gets quiet a little, and we see a spray of blood as Gunko and Shamrock just fly away. Then Shamrock continues.
Pacifying them all at once will be too hard. We need to get to the warrior's children first. Call one more.
Huh? Call one more? As in another holy night? They're going to go after the kids. They're going to go after the kids. In order to make the giants do what they want, they're going to take the children hostage. No!
We need to get to the warrior's children first. Call one more.
Very well. Which one?
Then we get to Allrest Castle. They're going to go get the kids. They're going to hold the children hostage. They're going to hold the children hostage, and therefore the whole nation hostage, so that the giants can do what they want. No, this is wrong. But let's continue. We're now hitting the halfway mark.
Allrest Castle, Elbaf.
Yeah, I know what I saw.
It was red hair.
Liar! Shanks would have beat you guys up without. Shanks wouldn't beat you guys up without a good reason.
But it's true. I recognize him anywhere. Red hair has been to Elbaf many times.
Yeah, I guess you would. Shanks is really cool. This guy must have looked just like him.
We were shocked to see him. We thought, what's he doing in the castle?
Red hair was just in Elbaf, right? So it's not out of the question that he would still be in the area. But if what you're saying is true, that wasn't Shanks! Shanks is a cheerful guy who isn't full of himself, and he never does anything messed up like that. So Luffy can already tell whoever this person is, it's definitely not Shanks, because Shanks would not roll like that.
You trust him so much.
And, Nami's just laughing. Of course I do! Look, Nami, wouldn't you be mad if someone said stuff about that Molly mare?
You mean Belmare?
So, I guess they were two identical people? Maybe they're brothers.
Shanks' brother? I guess that could be. Shanks' brother? I guess that could be true. But I've never heard him talk about his family. Just that he was on a pirate ship ever since he was little. And it shows that same individual that was walking through the forest at the beginning of our introduction to Elbaf, who has that big hat on his head, who is also the same person sharing a drink with Crocus. We see... You will not... No, it's not my time. Don't take me out. Not today, God. I need to read this chapter. The same person that was with Crocus, the big old hat, the long hair, and the striped robe, we see a quick panel of him all of a sudden. Just that he was on a pirate ship ever since he was little. I thought Roger and Rayleigh and those guys were his family. The Roger Pirates, aside from Buggy. And then that's that person, they're walking to Ares Castle. Not saying anything, but he's walking to the castle. Then we get Team Frankie, Jewel Tree Adam Tour. And we have one of the giants who's going like,
here, there, everywhere, it's all Adam.
Oh, wait, no, that's Frankie. I forgot that's his current getup right now. I almost didn't even recognize him.
Here, there, everywhere, it's all Adam. I guess this wood's not that rare after all.
And then Ripley, who's escorting him around, goes,
Is it really that valuable across the sea? Maybe I should go into business and start selling it.
You're the one who should be stopping it, Ripley. Saul already scolded me once. This is a holy tree. Don't you go cutting pieces of it loose now.
Good impression.
Anyway, if you have to cut the wood and haul it off without any giants noticing, I guess that explained the price.
And then Frankie jumps down from a grip because Ripley's basically holding him like an action figure, like a really big action figure.
Huh? What's that?
It's a mural. They're children's drawings from the ancient past, carved into the fossilized tree bark. It's a cultural relic due to its historical value.
Really? Kids' scribbles?
They're estimated to have been drawn somewhere between 800 and 900 years ago.
Oh, Void Century drawings.
Which, if correct, puts them right within the period of the Void Century.
What? We gotta show this to Robin. I'll tell her about it later.
And then while he's looking at the pictures.
I gotta say, for a drawing from Elbaf, they don't look all like giants to me.
That's right, in the history we're familiar with, there was sometimes wars between the races, but never cultural exchange.
Now, here's the thing. We see a drawing of a person with a crown, and I guess either long hair or a trail coming off of their hair. I am guessing this could be Nefertari Lily. And then we see something that looks like a giant, basically a giant, but with horns on his head and a big old mask. This looks similar to Emmett. And then we have another one of some sort of creature that I can't see the rest of the body of, but it looks weird. So I'm guessing that first image is of Queen Lily. Second one is of Emmett. but I don't know what the third image is.
There were sometimes wars between the races, but never cultural exchange.
And Frankie is silent.
Maybe that simply means that this was nothing more than a child's dream.
The Walrus School. And we cut back to the school as the kids are having fun and they're learning.
Listen up, children. We're in the middle of a lesson.
And they're all laughing. And the kids are, not really paying it. Some of them aren't paying attention and they're just kind of laughing. The Owl Library. And then we have Robin and Saul.
So this is the Harley.
Sure is.
Wow, it's huge and old. And dusty.
All the various myths and legends of Elbaf were created based on this original text, since there are so many interpretations of it. And Chopper is still coughing because it's a very dusty book. And it means the sun god all the warriors of Elbaf believe in has a different personality depending on who tells the story. And then it cuts back to Dory, Broggy, Stanzin, Jarl, Harudin, everyone, they're still partying. Has a different personality depending on who tells the story. Ain't that funny?
May I read it?
Of course. The story split up into 3 chapters. They say the 3rd chapter describes the world we live in today. It's about something that's gonna happen in the future. Huh? In fact, the legends of Nika are seeded all throughout the world. The one common feature is that he always shows up laughing to this rhythm. Doom da da da, doom da da da. And he starts doing the same dance we've seen from Kuma and his father and Bonnie and Kizaru and Vegapunk when we were in Egghead. He starts doing that same thing. And then Robin goes,
Shall I read it now? The first world. Within the earth there was fire. Mankind.
And then as we get that same musical theme, that same doom da da da, it cuts back to Frankie. Woo! Exposition! Oh my goodness! I got lightheaded because we are getting some sauce. It shows this big, gigantic double spread panel.
The first world. Within the earth there was fire. Mankind succumbed to greed and touched the forbidden sun. The enslaved prayed, and the sun god appeared. The earth god raged, and with its serpent of hellfire, shrouded the world in death and darkness, and they will never meet. The second world. Within the void there was breath. The forest god tamed demons, and the sun spread the fires of war. Those of the half-moon dreamed. Those of the moon dreamed.
What? Wait, those of the half-moon and the moon dreamed? Oh my goodness.
Those of the half-moon dreamed. Those of the moon dreamed. Man killed the sun and became God, and the sea god stormed, and they will never meet. The third world. Within the chaos there was emptiness. The inconvenient remnants recall the promised day, and hear the voice of the half-moon. The sun god dances and laughs, guiding the world to its end. The sun returns and bring a new morning, and they will surely meet.
Oh my, because what we see here, oh my God, what we see here is what happened to the world the 2 times Nika appeared. What? Oh. I know what's about to happen. Oh my God, because here's the oh my God. We just got to explain what happened the first time. The first world. The first world was devastated by fire. The second one was the first instance of Nika. The world was devastated and burnt to a crisp by fire. The second one was beset by war, and that caused the sea waters to raise. And the third world is where everything is going to convene. And we're going to get the final battle. Let me describe to you what I'm seeing. So in the first world, it shows a whole bunch of tall buildings, like what appears to be modern day buildings. No, y'all didn't hear me. Modern day buildings. This is set, the world of One Piece right now is set in it's basically just set in like old times where ships are the main way you get around, and old places that you would see in Pirates of the Caribbean. But these buildings look eerily similar to modern day skyscrapers. No, I think these are factories. Hold on, I'm trying to make sense of this. I see the Shanoans. I see their wings. I see the Maxim of Eneru. I see the moon. Y'all didn't hear me. The Maxim of Eneru is in this mural. And we have this big giant creature, like this giant worm that might be Jupiter. And we have this creature that's in the middle in the second world that looks similar to Mars in his Itsunade state. So we see the Maxim shooting down lightning. We see the Ark. We see the Noah from Fishman Island. We see that here. I think I know what this is. We see these people taking what looks to be like some sort of energy and putting it into these buildings what if the Sky Islands were created from the first world and that led to the Sky Oh, okay. Ravi, you were not kidding. We are going to have to talk about this. I'm stuck on the first world. Frankie is face to face with the history of the world in Elbaf. I'm just stuck on the first world right now. I got to get to the end because it's the ending part that is sending me right now. So, second world, we see all sorts of different pirates. We see the Jewel Tree Atom, and it leads into the third world, which is where we're at right now. And we have all of these factions, all of these different people, all of these different races fighting one final big bad darkness. This creature, this figure that is holding the sun in its hands. And facing off against, not siding with and fighting everyone else. Facing off against this figure, this being. We got the Skypians. We got the Minks. We got the Merfolk. We got the Giants. We got Loki. And we got pirates and people with ships fighting. And we have Nika. They are all fighting against this darkness. The sun and the darkness are going to clash. And Nika and Loki are amongst the ranks who are fighting it. This is the history of the world. This is going to be the big bad. Forget the Gorosei. Forget Blackbeard. This individual, this being is going to be the final hurdle before we get to the end of One Piece. This is the first chapter of February, and we're not going on break from this? I am but no Lunarians or Buccaneers. Yeah, I don't see. Here's the thing. Well, actually, here's an interesting thing. I see a winged person right next to the hand of this monster, but the wings are black. Mind you, the other Skypeans that we've seen in this panel, is in the same panel over in the first world section, those wings are white. Those wings are white. But we got black wings over on this one. I don't know if it's a shading thing or if it's just like or if it actually is a Lunarian. The chapter is that king? Let's see. Under there's something we can see what looks to be like a trunk. Is it a trunk, though? I don't think that's a trunk, because there's an individual with a crown on their head, and it looks like those are oars on a boat. Those look to be like oars on a boat. Not necessarily an elephant, even though if you tilt your head to the side, it can look like an elephant. But I don't know. But every race, every person is going to be fighting against this grand figure, this final boss. No break. We just 13 people here? Hey, everybody, you're going to have to forgive me if I can't find the words. We just witnessed peak One Piece with this one chapter, because this just insinuated that everybody is going to be fighting against this monster. Everyone. Luffy and his crew. Pirates. Everyone. Minks. Merfolk. Even Loki. Because it shows Loki also joining the charge. This figure that looks like Loki. A helmet with horns on his head and a long spear. It looks like he's going to be joining this charge against this figure. No. Let me see what you guys have said. Let me see. Shanks is 100% a celestial dragon. Confirmed. We've been known this from film Red, but it's nice that it's in the story now. Yeah. See, the thing with me when it comes to movies, I treat them as non-canon until Oda says otherwise. So, yeah, and Roger's base is still going. He's still going? He's normally done when I get started. He starts at 11. I'm at church at the time. So that's the reason why these streams are at 1, because I stay for the whole service. So he's usually done by the time I get started. He's still going? No. Wow. Minatomo or something? I forgot his name. Yeah. Let me see. 100% agree. Ravi, be ready to get your mind blown. No clone. It's not a clone. It's his brother. Shanks is the younger brother of Shamrock. Anyone else get the temptation to call Figureland garlic? I get tempted to say garlic sometimes. Let me see. His sword has a devil fruit, while Cerberus, the counterpart to Griffin. Funkfried, eat your heart out. Man, Funkfried wishes he was this terrifying as a devil fruit in a sword. Didn't notice that Cerberus is awakened the first time. I noticed it immediately. As soon as I saw that black plume cloud around its shoulders. An awakened Zoan devil fruit in a sword. We've already witnessed awakened Zoans. Period. Regular awakened Zoans with Lucci and Kaku, we've already witnessed this. We've witnessed this with the Gorosei, and we've already witnessed it with Luffy. But knowing that Zoans can be awakened if they get implanted into a sword, they can still... That's a possibility! Awakened Zoans is putting a devil fruit in a sword, and it being a Zoan, they can still be awakened! So you get the mythological power in a sword that you get a command. Y'all know what I'm about to do. We got to do this long summary. Oda. Peak February. We just started February yesterday. This is peak. My God. This is amazing. Please tell me someone got the full summary. Yes! That's what I like to see. Oh, we gotta go. We gotta read this whole thing. No. Let me read your comments. Let me read every single one of your comments. We gotta read every single one of your comments. Let me see. Yeah. Don't worry about it skipping a little bit. It does that when I'm trying to. You know what? Let me do it from my phone rather than it trying to load up and causing my video to skip. Don't worry. I notice it. I'm gonna pull it up for myself. I'm gonna pull it up myself on my phone. I'm gonna pull it up here. I'm gonna pull it up for myself. Ain't no way. We got a chapter this good at the start of February, and we're getting another one. We're getting another chapter. Nah, that's crazy to me. So let me read what you guys have said. Family got home and they got food, so I probably need to go and grab that. We'll talk a little bit, then I'll eat my food, and then I'll do my stream for Sakamoto Days once I eat. But this is something we got to address now. Didn't notice the Cerberus is awakened this first time. So much for Blackbeard having the Cerberus devil fruit. Ozzy and Octopus Zoan is still on the table like a kraken. It's okay, they missed his heart. They ask for it, and they will so get it from Luffy. If the world government's plan is to make the giants violent again, then go right ahead and kidnap their children. They're gonna... Who said anything about kidnapping? I would not put it past Shamrock to threaten their very lives. Glad Luffy knows the implications of this being a Roger pirate is hype. Shiki, not a Roger pirate. People keep saying Shiki just because they see the long hair, but how many people have we seen in this series with long hair that isn't Shiki? I mean, Killer comes to mind. He has long hair. Not as long as Shiki's, but it's long and spiky. Everyone keeps defaulting to Shiki, though. That has to be Scopper Gabbin to be precise. I'm guessing the crown with hair is Mermaid Princess, the one from the Void Century, because the bottom is very fish-like. You know what? You're right. That could be the previous iteration of Poseidon. This last panel lore at the wazoo. It's pretty much telling the story of the entire world from the time of Nika to the time of Joy Boy to post Void Century and now. We literally got the history of the world thanks to the Harley and the mural. This is the true history of the world, drawn by children, giant children from the age of the Void Century. Yeah, the great cataclysm. When it comes to storytelling, Oda is second to none. You ain't kidding! Like Fire Force or Dr. Stone, those are some either high-tech factories or modern buildings. That's what I'm saying. Both Ozzy was referring to Fire Force, but Dr. Stone is a good analogy too. Yeah, I gotta check out Dr. Stone one day. And on the left, it appears that is Loki under Nika. I told you so. Good eye, Kohagen. Also the woman in the mural. Okay, let me go down. As soon as we reach last page, all of the pages are gone from mine. Yeah, under the maximum. Okay, you're talking about that looks to be Zunisha. No, is that king above Nika? Remains to be seen. Because I don't see any Zunisha here, and maybe they didn't have enough space to draw Zunisha. What's going on, Dark King Byron? Let me acknowledge everyone. Kohagen, Ozzy, Halster, Dark King Byron. Everybody. I have a feeling that once we get to chapter 140, I knew this was going to get Q out the chair. Yeah. Y'all know it. That had me hollering. This is a I'm eating good before I actually eat. This is I had some good word at church. Got some good One Piece here at home. I'm about to eat some food here in a minute. I ate 3 times. Because Griffin symbolized divine power while Cerberus is the guard dog of the underworld. Do you think we know the name of Garling's sword now? I mean, he calls out Cerberus, but I don't know if that's the name of his sword. That's just the name of the creature that resides in his sword. Let's see, summary time. Yeah, Demon Slayer better than One Piece. Yeah, only in Bizarro's world. I love Demon Slayer. I do. I think it's a fantastic series. But One Piece! I think I initially thought Scopper feels so weird reading the chapter title because whenever it's said, I'm like, huh? Yeah, but here's the thing. It's called the Harley, but we don't call you Harley. We call you Holster. We just call you Harley. Wait, we call you Holster. We don't call you Harley. Yeah. All right. I caught up to everybody. If I got anybody looking at me for the very first time, I have to say welcome, welcome, welcome. You have to understand that I love the One Piece story so much that when stuff like this happens, I get hype. Extremely hype. I've been like this for years, so you have to understand that if I get out my chair, this chapter is him. This is what you would call a him chapter. Shamrock doesn't have a black blade, so Mihawk is stronger than Shamrock and Shanks. Frankie must be hiding something in the center. I wouldn't be surprised if he's covering something in the center of the atom image within this mural. I wouldn't be surprised. But it's time to read the summary. Let me put it landscape way so that way the picture, the words can be big. And let me keep chat right here because also Military Juke, it's good to see you. I hope life has been treating you well. Long summary. I got to use my narrator voice. Loki wakes up and asks Shamrock what his relationship with Shanks is, since the two look the same. Gunko tells Shamrock he has no need to answer Loki's question, but Loki demands to know since pirates and world nobles are polar opposites, and for Shamrock to have the same face as a legendary pirate like Shanks is bound to make anyone curious. Shamrock tells Loki that Shanks is his younger twin brother, and though he once returned to Marijwa, that's another thing, Shanks went back to Marijwa once. He came back to Marijwa once and preferred to live with everybody else. Shamrock tells Loki that Shanks is his younger twin brother, and though he once returned to Marijwa, he ultimately preferred living in what Shamrock considers the filthy lower world. Loki declares that both brothers have earned his ire, and once he gets his chains off, he'll make Shamrock pay for attacking him while defenseless, and for taking down his animal friends. Furious with Loki's threat and not wanting to soil his own hands dealing with him, Shamrock instead draws his sword, which transforms into the three-headed dog Cerberus. Gunko creates a bird using her powers, and the two of them depart while Shamrock leaves Cerberus to attack Loki, telling him that if he survives, he'll be waiting for him. But a nervous Loki says even he can't survive an attack from something like this, and he angrily curses the world nobles. Once in the air, Shamrock suggests they use the children as leverage against the giants and ask Gunko to call for another night. That's the thing. Another night is on the way. This is a situation so important that it demands the presence of not one, not two, but 3 holy nights to get this job done. This is our first chapter in February. At Allrust Castle, Luffy learns about who attacked the guards and refuses to believe it was Shanks despite their similarities, and taking into account Shanks has visited Elbaf many times. Luffy, however, remains adamant that the attacker wasn't Shanks, but a lookalike. Family, I am so sorry. This you'll have to forgive me. This chapter was absolutely amazing, and I'm just in a big old discussion about it. I'll take this, but thank you so much. I'm gonna eat this as soon as I get done with this summary. Thank you, family members. Let me see here. Luffy, however, remains adamant that the attacker wasn't Shanks, but a lookalike, and Nami muses over how defensive he is of his hero, though Luffy states that is natural. The guards then start thinking that the attacker was possibly his brother, and Luffy admits he never heard Shanks talking about his family before. We now know why. He is literally the son of one of the highest forms of royalty and prestige and power in the entire world. I was about to say hello, Q's family members, but that's just you saying hi to everybody. Y'all remember when we looked at Jupiter before he knew his name? Everyone thought, like, what if Sanji is related to Jupiter? What if he's related to that? Now we realize that one of the most important figures in One Piece is the son of one of the most powerful figures in One Piece. Shanks is the son of a celestial dragon. And not only that, but the son of the supreme commander of the Holy Knights and the current godhead of science and defense of the elders, of the 5 elders, of the Gorosei. One of the most powerful pirates in the world is also the son of one of the most powerful individuals that rules the world. Shanks comes from a family where every member is him. It's in his blood. It's in his blood. We're not done though. I'm sure Shanks feels the same way about Marijois the way that Shamrock feels about the lower world. It's trash. And now we know why Shanks probably wouldn't talk about his family. Because his family is from the prestigious line that rules the entire world itself. He comes from royal blood. This is yet another person with royal blood that comes from Marijois that is just casually living in the lower world. Doflamingo, Bonnie, because she's technically of royal blood because her father was a celestial dragon, but we don't know who the father was. Just that he tossed out Bonnie and Ginny as soon as Ginny was infected with that sapphire scales that Saturn subjected her to. So Bonnie is technically royalty. She technically has celestial dragon blood in her as well. So it's been recent. Doflamingo, Bonnie, and now Shanks. With each person becoming more and more powerful every time we learn this. Let's keep going. We're not done yet. Though Luffy, let's see. The guards then start. Mike is slowly moving to center, leaving no space. Slowly moving to center, leaving no space for Q's face. Don't worry, I'll lower it. I can project myself downwards if need be, so you guys can actually see my face because I was starting to hunch and then it started to obscure my face. My apologies for that. The guards then start thinking that the attacker was possibly his brother, and Luffy admits he never heard Shanks talk about his family before, having assumed he thought the Roger Pirates as his family, apart from Buggy. Meanwhile, a mysterious figure starts approaching the castle, the same one we saw with Crocus all those years ago in that one volume, I forget that one, and was walking through Elbaf earlier. This person is coming up on Ares Castle. This person's going to have answers. At Treasure Tree Adam, Frankie, and what if we find out something even crazier? Dragon actually being the son of Roxy Zebek, he looks nothing like Garp when you look at him. But Luffy looks nothing like Dragon, so I don't see how... I don't see... But then again, Luffy does look more like Garp when he was younger, to a certain degree. But now we're stretching into crazy territory. That is crazy territory. We'll see. We shall see. At Treasure Tree Adam, Frankie learns that all the branches are from the tree, so it isn't as rare as he thought. Ripley, who was with him, another possibility. It's another possibility. We'll put it in our back pocket for now, but we're not gonna put it anything else. We're not gonna put it anywhere else. We'll keep it close. In our back pocket. We may not go back there all the time, but at least we know it's there for the time being until we need it, like a wallet. Ripley, who was with him, is surprised to learn how valuable the wood is outside of Elbaf, and Saw refused to let Frankie take pieces of it, which made him realize that the price of the tree comes from the fact that it is taken without anyone noticing. Which begs the question, how are people getting pieces of the jewel tree atom out of Elbaf without anyone noticing? Oh wait, I just had a derp moment. I was looking at the mural to see if I can see anything depicting the people from Amazon Lily. I just remembered they're human too. Yeah, Amazon Lily counts as humans. So they're not like, special, aside from every single one of them knowing hockey and, Pirate Empress. That's pretty much it. Let me see. Frankie then notices a mural on the tree, but Ripley calls them drawings from children in the past. These are some detailed drawings from children in the past that depicts the state of the world 3 times over. These are some really good drawings. But Ripley calls them drawings from children in the past, though it is considered a historical relic. Ripley believes the mural was drawn during the Void Century, which Frankie decides to tell Robin about later. Still, the mural had some interesting images, namely not that many were giants, and the races depicted were shown working together, which is why Ripley thinks it's just a child's dream. At the Owl Library, Saul shows Robin the Harley, and explains that all of Elbaf's myths and legends were inspired by the interpretation of the text. I think DC Amazons who are DC Amazons like Wonder Woman and Themyscira, they are on the more special side. At the Owl Library, Saul shows Robin the Harley and explains that all of Elbaf's myths and legends were inspired by the interpretation of the text, and it's why everyone thinks the Sun God has different personalities. Robin asks to read it, and Saul grants her request, saying it is broken into 3 chapters, and the third one describes the current world today and what will happen in the future. Saul also reveals that legends of Nika are scattered throughout the world, and the one common feature is that he always appears laughing to a particular rhythm he starts imitating. In the first chapter, dubbed The First World, reads, "Within the earth there was fire. Mankind succumbed to greed and touched the forbidden sun. The enslaved prayed, and the sun god appeared. The earth god raged, and with its serpent of hellfire shrouded the world in death and darkness." You know, serpent of hellfire, I can no longer think of Jupiter, because he didn't exactly showcase an ability to coat himself in fire. This was something different. So either this is a mythical Zoan-type creature that is basically just a hellfire worm or snake or whatever. It's out there. Or it could be like an ancient weapon or something man-made. I don't know. But if this is a creature that can be commanded, then it means that this creature is out there somewhere. And if it's not in the hands of the world government, it's somewhere out there. The earth god raged, and with its serpent of hellfire, shrouded the world in death and darkness, and they will never meet. The second chapter, the second world, reads, "Within the void there was breath. The forest god tamed demons, and the sun spread the fires of war against the 20 kingdoms. Those of the half-moon dreamed. Those of the moon dreamed. Man killed the sun and became God, and the sea god stormed, and they will never meet. Man killed the sun. 20 kingdoms and their armies killed Nika, and they in turn became God. Gods of the basically celestial dragons. And the sea god stormed, the same sea levels that rose 200 meters over the course of 100 years, which is abnormal. And they will never meet." The third chapter, the third world, reads, "Within the chaos there was emptiness. The inconvenient remnants recall the promised day, and hear the voice of the half-moon. The sun god dances and laughs, guiding the world to its end. The sun returns and brings a new morning, and they will surely meet." As these chapters are shown, as is the mural Frankie sees, depicting incredible drawings and conflicts symbolizing the 3 chapters. And this Earth God probably has something to do with the red line. It's possible. Hold on, let me go back up to it. The Earth God raged, and with his serpent of hellfire shrouded the world in death and darkness. This is not a 10 out of 10. It is not a 100 out of 100. It is not even 1,000 out of 1,000. This is a 1,000,000 out of 1,000,000 tier chapter. Or maybe Sea God, the red line, is definitely tied to one of those 2 gods. I would not be surprised if the Earth God raged, and with its serpent of hellfire shrouded the world in death and darkness, and they will never meet. So, what is one way that something that is on fire, say magma, what happens when it touches water? starts to cool and it suddenly starts to become additional landmass, right? What if this serpent is a representation, like you guys said, what if the serpent is a representation of the red line itself? Just like you guys said. So let me go to the quick references here. Shamrock and Gunko continue on the move. Shamrock reveals Shanks was born in the Figureland family as his younger twin brother. Shamrock also reveals Shanks knows of his world noble heritage and visited Marijois in the past, but renounced his birthright and chose to remain in the lower world. Shamrock's sword has consumed a Cerberus mythical Zoan devil fruit. As the duo leaves, he draws it against Loki to try and finish him off. Shamrock and Gunko decide to summon another individual to help them with their mission of subjugating Elbaf. The guards state it was Shanks who attacked Luffy, but Luffy refuses to believe it. A certain mystery man is approaching the castle where Luffy's party currently is. The person resembles the one who visited Crocus in the From the Decks of the World cover story. Frankie and Ripley come upon a mural on the Atom Tree which was painted during the Void Century. The mural says there were 2 world wars and a third one imminent. You know how people make jokes about World War III in this world? One Piece is about to have their World War III. A World War III is on the way for the world of One Piece. Peak. This was a peak chapter. I know we had everything happen earlier on, but it's that mural at the end that just... My goodness. Not worthy. Oh my goodness. This was an amazing chapter. I was just about to comment asking that question. We're getting closer and closer to the red line being destroyed. Maybe in the red line resides this serpent of hellfire like an eternal slumber. It's like sealed in the red line, like colossal titans were sealed in the walls of Attack on Titan, something like that. I got to know how everyone else feels about this. I got to check on all the other people who react to One Piece. I definitely got to check on Roger. And see how he is when he saw this. I got to know what he knows. I'm getting everything out before because you ever think something and you say it live and then you go see someone else and they point out something that you missed. I want to make sure I cover everything because I don't want to be like, oh, I can't believe I missed that and I didn't even mention it during the entire stream. So I think we covered everything. We just witnessed... See, it's one thing for Vegapunk to tell a little bit of history that he could gather from Elbaf. It's another to see it drawn, and we can get our own fill of information. Who knew that we would see the Maxim referenced in any way? We haven't seen Eneru since his cover story when he went to the moon. We haven't seen him in forever. And this mural shows that the Maxim has been around since the Void Century. Doesn't mean that Eneru has been around for that long, but the Maxim has been around since the Void Century. I think never meet part is not about people, but about sea, aka first red line divided it into 2, and then grand line into 4, and finally they all meet again. Ooh, Ravi. Ooh, you're onto something here. Ooh, Ravi. Oh, my goodness. Yes, I like that. Hold on, I gotta read through that passage again. Within the earth there was fire, mankind succumbed to greed and touched the forbidden sun. The enslaved prayed, and the sun god appeared. The earth god raged, and with its serpent of hellfire shrouded the world in death and darkness, and they will never meet. Separate, the seas never meet because of the red line. Then we get into like the era of the Void Century, and then the world gets separated again. Man killed the sun and became God, and the sea god stormed, and they will never meet. Wow, you're really onto something here. So at the end of this world war, Does this mean that all the seas are going to become one again? The red line won't be a thing that separates the world, paradise from the new world. I've seen JD's reaction. I must see Zoro fanboys too and Sawyer's. I got to look at everybody. And see what they thought with this. Were they jumping up and down like I was? I have no idea if they have ever heard of me or of my crazy reactions, but man, it's amazing to know that there are other people out there who can react to One Piece just as crazy and as passionate as I do. I need to watch Tekking's reaction as well as all the others mentioned above. I got to check everybody else out. It's been an hour. I got to go ahead and eat my food, and then we'll get started with Sakamoto Days right after. Oh. And we're not going on break? This was amazing. This is why I love doing what I do. This is why I love doing what I do. I love this. When I look back over my life and look at where I was before, working jobs that I didn't enjoy, but I always look forward to One Piece on Sundays because those would be days where I didn't have to worry about work. I could just enjoy these chapters on my own time and not worry about I can enjoy these chapters, but I got to go to work later. I'm so glad that I do what I do now, running this whole place full time, so I get to enjoy this at my own pace, and I get to contemplate all this stuff with no distractions. I am honored to react to this series and read through it with all of you. It's amazing. All these years. I think I've been reacting to One Piece for how long? 6 years? I want to say 6 years. Over 6 years, I think. Wait, Egghead and Emmett went up into the sky, right? You think it went to the moon? I know Punk Records went up in the air. Emmett, however, was still on the ground. When Punk Records went up there. Because Emmett wasn't on Punk Records, like the Labo phase. He wasn't up there. So Emmett was still on Egghead with no way of moving again. But I gotta stop. Because I gotta eat. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the first chapter of One Piece in February. And Oda just said, I know that y'all thought that things couldn't get crazier for this series. And it's insane how more and more crazy things keep happening for One Piece, and it doesn't get old. I am honored to react to One Piece for all of you, both people who watch me regularly, and even you, random person who just showed up to my stream for the very first time and is watching this on a playback. I meant Punk Records, I get Punk Records and the island itself confused, my bad. It's all good, Halster. But to every person, both people, my regulars, my moderators, my members, who I thank you so much for just being members in general. It helps the channel, and it just shows that, hey, I have something on this channel worthy of people being members for. And I just want to say thank you to everyone. This is what it means to enjoy One Piece, because this is, oh my goodness. I don't think I've been this massively hyped for a chapter that I felt was just quintessentially a peak chapter since the ultimate chapter from way back when we got the bounties of everybody, learned about Roxy Zebek, the God Valley incident, the Gorosei showing up in their demon forms, of Vegapunk telling his knowledge of the Void Century, and, well, not really the Void Century, but just the history of the world from his own interpretation. And now this. Shanks and Shamrock. It's just amazing. It's amazing. I love this. But I'm done. Let me not drone on. I'm droning on. It's so peak. I love One Piece. I love it too. I really hope Gajeel read this chapter. I really do. But I'm done, ladies and gentlemen. I've kept you here far longer than I meant to, and I apologize for that. But when it comes to good chapters like this, this is one of those series where I could easily carry on for an entire hour with no issue whatsoever. This was a peak chapter. We're getting one next week. But I'm done. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day. And once again, as always, later, peoples. On to Sakamoto days after I eat.